Hey guys, DBSushananagin here. We're back today with a Dragon Ball Super review. This is the review of episode 22. Now, in the previews of this episode, we did see that Gotenks is actually going to come and join the fight. So, that's already, we knew it was going to change completely. We saw Tagoma even going to start fighting in the previews of this episode. So this episode was really, really hyped, and we all could not wait for this episode. I'm only speaking for myself, but I guarantee that all of us could not wait for this episode. So this episode, at the very beginning, starts off with Tagoma just talking about his hardships that he had with Frieza, and then he goes into the fighting. So Piccolo takes him on first, and Piccolo actually punches him right in the face, and Tagoma just eats the punch like it was nothing and rips off Piccolo's arm, and that was crazy. We did see that part in the preview also, but to actually see it happen was just kind of wow. That was wow. Just Piccolo gets his arm ripped off again. So he just goes right back, of course, and Gohan shoots a blast to get Tagoma away from them, and Tagoma eats the blast too like it was nothing. Then all of the Z fighters, all 5 of them that are over there, go after Tagoma at once, and Tagoma fights them all off at the same time, which is kind of crazy. And then out of nowhere, Gotenks comes and headbutts Tagoma right in the Dragon Balls, just randomly into the Dragon Balls. And that was the moment we were all waiting for. And Gotenks is finally in to the fight. So if you guys hear a little that noise, that's my dog. So Gotenks is finally in the fight, and everybody wanted to see Gotenks in the fight, and something I could not wait for was to see Frieza's reaction to seeing Trunks and Goten. Mostly Trunks, but so Gotenks got there. Gotenks said a little cocky words, and then he actually defused, which is kind of weird because we didn't actually see them fuse. So you don't know how long they fused before they came into the fight. But once they were there, after they headbutted Tagoma into the Dragon Balls, well, in the Dragon Balls, then they defused shortly after. So I think that's kind of weird how they defused so soon. But because we don't know how long they've been fused, but it shouldn't have taken them that long to get there, because we saw Gotenks fly around the world basically, and as soon as he became Gotenks. So he defuses, and Frieza sees Goten and Trunks. He realizes immediately that Goten is probably the son of Goku, because they resemble each other pretty much identically. And then he sees Trunks, and he sees that Trunks is just like the kid that cut him in two. And there's a flashback of future Trunks cutting Frieza in two. And seeing the flashback was actually really, really cool to see that, because it looked kind of weird, because Dragon Ball Super is really like HD and Dragon Ball Z is not, but so it was kind of like dark yellowy. But so after the flashback, we see Tagoma still hanging on to his Dragon Balls. He's a little bit hurt, and Frieza wants Tagoma to get up and fight already. He can't believe Tagoma's still down there. He says he's going to kill Tagoma first if he doesn't get up and fight. But this is where something crazy happens. Captain Ginyu, as a frog, shows up right in front of Tagoma as Tagoma is bent down, holding onto his Dragon Balls. He writes into the dirt change in some weird alien language, and Tagoma says it out loud. He says change out loud, and they change bodies, and Ginyu is back into the action. As soon as he takes over Tagoma's body, the first thing he does is go and talk to Frieza and tell Frieza that, hey, it's me, it's Ginyu. I'm here to serve you. I've been looking for you forever. I've just needed a body. And he loves having Tagoma's body, because he already feels that Tagoma's body is really, really strong. And Frieza's kind of shocked to see Ginyu back, because he did not expect Ginyu, of all people, to just show up while he's at Earth. So it's Ginyu in Tagoma's body, and he's going to be with Frieza now. And Frieza tells him, okay, now you can deal with the rest of them. And then Ginyu says yes. And then we have a cut to, I think the cut was right here. We have a cut to Beerus and Whis over in Beerus's world. And Beerus is eating pizza. And he says he can't wait for Goku and Vegeta to come back so they can play or fight, basically. He can't wait to have a rematch with them while they're stronger, because he knows that they're way stronger now. Because as you remember in the last episode, they were both sent off to that place. Then Whis says, don't you think it was a little bit too early to send them to that place? And I just slapped my mic, sorry about that. He says, don't you think it's a little bit too early to send them to that place? And he says, no, it's going to be fine. And then we have a cut to Goku and Vegeta in that place. They're struggling to move. They can't really move until Vegeta realizes that he just needs to stop his ki from leaking, and he does so, and then he can actually move around freely. And then Goku says, wow, Vegeta, you're smart. And then he does the same thing, and now they can both move around freely. And Vegeta remarks that the presence feels like God's key. So, sorry if you just heard that noise. It feels like a God's key. So, the place all around them is a God's key. And Goku says this place kind of reminds me of the hyperbolic time chamber because it's hard to breathe in here. And so we have a good feeling that this is most likely a hyperbolic time chamber-esque kind of place. Because it's definitely most likely like that, and definitely most likely, I don't know. But it's probably like that. And there's most likely going to be some sort of time change, because in the hyperbolic time chamber, 1 year in there was 1 day on planet Earth. So it's most likely something like that. Maybe, who knows, maybe 2 years in there is 1 day on Earth, or 1 year over there is 1 hour on Earth. Who knows? It can be anything. We have no idea yet. The options are honestly endless, and I can't wait. I really hope in there, though, they actually show Goku and Vegeta achieving their Super Saiyan form, or at least explaining it somewhat. I hope they do that either in the next few episodes, or they do that in after the revival of F arc, Frieza arc. See, I just hope they do it soon, honestly. I really hope they do it soon. So then after that, we go back to Tagoma, and he fights Gohan this time. And he looks like he's beating Gohan until Gohan turns Super Saiyan and just destroys Tagoma. He absolutely destroys Tagoma. And then Tagoma's just on the floor. And then he says, Gohan decides to spare Tagoma because we know Gohan is a nice guy. He's not going to kill someone. So he spares Tagoma. He says, we don't need to fight anymore. And you should definitely just leave Earth right now. And then Frieza realizes that he's just like Goku because... And there's a flashback, too, in this. There's also a flashback, too, to when Goku told Frieza, we can't fight anymore. You can't fight anymore. And you should leave now. I've given you enough energy to leave now. And Frieza's he's shocked by this. He cannot believe it. He's absolutely livid at this. And he goes straight in for Gohan. He shoots Gohan, and he basically tortures Gohan just by shooting the little death beams at Gohan through his arms, through his stomach, through his legs, and he tells Gohan that you should probably run now, but you can't run now. And this is a really, really just wow moment, because we actually see how ruthless Frieza actually is, what he's capable of doing, especially to Gohan, someone who is Gohan is actually, I think, the strongest out of the 5 Z fighters that was there, because he was the one that was able to beat Tagoma, and he's also Super Saiyan. Goten tries to interfere, but Gohan tells him, no, stay back, you can't fight Frieza. Frieza is not an opponent you can fight. And then Frieza decides it's about time to kill Gohan, right? So he shoots a very big death beam, and Piccolo gets in the way once again and saves Gohan, but at the cost of his life. And that is the cliffhanger for this episode, which is kind of crazy. And that's where the episode leaves off. And it was, honestly, this was a great episode. This was definitely one of the best episodes in the Frieza arc so far. I was really, really satisfied with this episode. It was definitely one of my favorites. Now, for the previews for episode 23, we see Goku and Vegeta finally get into the fight. So I'm really hoping they explain how they got their Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan form. Or just some explanation about it, because it shows them getting into the fight. It shows Vegeta fighting Tagoma, most likely killing Tagoma. And because we all know Tagoma is not even as strong as Frieza, and if you watch the movie, you know what happens. I'm not going to spoil it, though. And honestly, we see Goku, and we see Frieza transform into his final form. Not his golden form, but his final form. Because as you know, Frieza was in his first form, so he transforms into his final form, and it looks like things are about to start fighting into this next episode, so I'm really excited for this next episode. It's going to happen next week. I cannot wait, and overall, again, really happy with this episode. The animation was spot on. The animation has been amazing so far, honestly. I've loved every bit of the animation. I feel like they're really stepping their game up from the Beerus arc, so... Again, a great episode. I really enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and whatever you think about this episode or the next episode or just the Frieza arc in general or Dragon Ball Super in general. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below because I'll read it and maybe we can have a little discussion down there about what we think is going to happen. I really wish Gotenks got to be more a part of the thing because he kind of just defused right after he got there and headbutted to Goma. So I really wish that there was more, but oh well, he didn't really play a part in the movie, so I'm really glad that he was actually in this episode. Again, overall, amazing episode. I absolutely loved it. Cannot wait for the next episode, and that is going to be it. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. Leave a like rating down below because that thumb needs 11, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. And that's going to be it. Have yourselves a great day. See you guys next time.